Hi, my name is Laura Rizzo. I'm here today to talk to you about different types of watercolor brushes, how to use them properly, and how to store them properly. Let's get started. So the first brush that I want to talk to you about is this wider flat brush that's used for creating nice even washes. And the other brush that's kind of similar is the fan brush that is also used for creating nice gradients and washes as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is kind of just use my brush and go back and forth on my paper. And I'm going to activate my color. And I'm just going to allow the brush to carry the paint across the page very nicely. Now I can go on to my second color, and we're just going to overlap them a little bit to create this wash. Yeah. So again, the fan brush can be used in a similar way. Every time that I use my brushes, I'm going to just rinse off. I'll wipe it on the edge of my little cup, and then I'm going to take my paper towel and I'm just going to kind of blot it, and I'll even out the bristles again, and then I'll store it back in my cup. Okay, so the fan brush is going to work similarly. I can add a little bit more movement with the fan brush as well, but it's really nice to create these even gradients like you see here. I'll move on. Next, I'm just gonna put paper down. Next, I wanna talk about the large round brush. It has a really nice variety of lines that you can create when you use it. You can use it for smaller details if you just use the edge, or you can also use it for filling in these bigger kind of areas as well. So to fill in an area like this, I can kind of just activate my color, and I can just use it and fill in this whole area. I can also use it for when I'm painting trees and doing the little kind of touch-up detail-y spots as well over there too. So I could fill in this big area. This is just a painting that I did before, just so that you could see how this brush works. I'm just going over it. So I could fill in this whole area as well, or I can use just the edge and create a tree. So I'll show you how we do that. And I can even go back in with which is the next brush that I'm going to talk about, with my tiny round brush, and I can add smaller edges, smaller details with that brush as well. Again, every time that I clean my brush off, I'm just going to wipe that, swish it around in the water, wipe that extra water that's still on the brush on the edge of the cup. I'll put it in my paper towel, and I'll kind of fluff up the bristles, and I will put it back, bristles up always, back in my cup. When I use this tinier round brush, if I add these little details in, I could just go right into my color, and I can move just the edge, just the little tip of the brush has paint on it, and I can kind of move my paint around and create littler, smaller details within my trees as well, with that tiny edge of that tiny round brush. Like so. I can also use the tiny round brush when I really need to add some texture as well. So it's great for adding texture into grass, into anything really. I'll show you what that looks like here. Let me just get a new piece of paper going. Okay. So if I was going to continue adding on to this little painting right here, just a nice little simple painting, I'm going to just add in with my tiny round brush these lines. So this is really just to see some of these lines that we can create when we're using these different types of brushes. I also like to use, with these little tiny guys, you have to make sure that you're really being nice and gentle with the brush as well. So if I were to just wipe this off onto the side like so, very gentle, very gentle, and I'll just kind of use my paper towel and then I'll put it right back, bristles up, baby, right back in my cup. The next one I want to talk about is this angled brush. We can really make some nice crisp lines with this angled brush as well. Let me show you what I mean. So I just want to make a little bit darker of a green. Okay. So when I just go straight down, look how nice and straight that line is. I'm just using the edge. I can really make a nice thin skinny line too with the angled brush. So if I were to apply it onto my painting, I can really make some nice tall grass. And again, I'm just really making some nice straight lines and texture within my foreground. So storing brushes is super important for the life of and the longevity in which you're going to be using your brush. So it's very important to make sure that we're storing them properly. So whenever I store my brushes, I always like to keep them in a nice little cup, or you can also put them in, there's these nice little carrying cases that they make as well too. But anytime, you're always gonna put the bristles facing up, and I like to just, again, wipe it off in my cup. Make sure that all the water is off by rubbing it on the edge. I'll clean it with my paper towel, and I put the bristles up like so. I also made these fun little, this was my visual journals from this week, just to kind of talks about each one, and a Know Your Brushes sheet as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you learned a lot. Thank you.